So Keeping Up with the Kardashians made the Kardashian-Jenner clan a household name and also created a platform for the family to launch their own billion-dollar businesses. With the show coming to its 20th and final season, it isn't the only reality show to help launch a career or two. So with the UK favourites such as Love Island, The Apprentice, The Only Way is Essex and Made in Chelsea to thank for some of the most successful media personalities and business owners. So, is joining a reality TV show a legitimate strategy for launching a business or a career in media?
To me, it really depends on two things. What sort of career you want to have in the media and what sort of reality show you want to go on. Because I think if you want to be taken seriously, like if you really want to get into the media and you want to, present the one show, I don't know, like maybe it's not for you. Maybe like Made in Chelsea is not the one for you. I think it can definitely open doors because if you go on Love Island, there is a certain sort of, in my opinion, level of fame and career that the people who go on there want to have. So maybe they want to be social media influencers and things like that, and that works for them. It opens the door for that sort of career. But I think for people who want to be taken seriously, I think we're getting to the point that social media, reality TV is so edited, it's so scripted, it's so fake, and it's so over the top. It really is going to be something that's going to be more of a detriment to your career if you want to be taken seriously.
I basically do agree with you, Sophie. I think there's a couple of key words in the question, which is legitimate strategy. I think calling it a legitimate strategy might be pushing it a bit. I think there are a couple of components that are going to add to my answer, but I think you can definitely build a brand and build a business off the back of appearing on one of these shows. I think, as Sophie said, you've got to pick the right show for where you want to end up. If you want to be, a business mogul, you'll go on The Apprentice. If you want to be a social media influencer, you'll probably go on Love Island. But I think it's highly dependent on the person if you're successful. You've got to be brave, you've got to be really self-assured, and you've got to be a risk taker, because there's nothing to say that this is going to go well for you when you go on the shows like that. Love Island has produced so many seasons, and how many people do we actually remember and are doing well from them? I think the second variable to them doing well and businesses and brands taking off is also left in the hands of the producers. You don't know what the edit's going to look like when it comes out. You go into things like The Apprentice and Love Island and you don't see what's being put out to the world. You won't see it for weeks. So you've got to put a lot of trust in the people that are making the show that you're on. And then also, it's down to what the audience are going to like. If they're going to like you, are you someone who's likable? Do you have a good personal brand? And those are all things you have to weigh up before going onto a show like that. Whether it will lead you to business and success and, money and fame and all the things that people want when they appear on these shows, I think it's massively down to luck and what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, I think I agree and disagree with you guys all in the same sentiment. Because as you know, I'm the resident reality TV whore. I watch a lot of it. And, sometimes I don't have any standards. I'm going to put on a couple episodes, see if I feel it out. If it's cheap, if it's trashy, yeah, I might watch. If it's good, has a bit more esteem to it, then yeah, I might watch that as well. So I don't have any standards really. But I think it can be a legitimate strategy, but I think it's what you guys said. It has to be a couple components. It depends also on what show you go on, and secondly, what you're going on there for, and whether you are already either business minded or driven or have a plan before you go on it. And the reason why I say is because you see a few people that are that are a bit successful. Maybe not so much if I'm thinking about the UK reality stars, but if I'm thinking about like America, I watch a lot of Housewives, and one of the Housewives of New York, she went on to the Housewives. She had like a normal job, but she didn't really have that much money, and she created her brand Skinny Girl. This is Bethany Frankel, if people don't know, and she ended up selling Skinny Girl for $100 million, and this was all because she went on the show, she built her business, she used the show as a vehicle to promote her business, and it did so well, and then she ended up getting her own talk show, and now she has a business career, and obviously she's a talk show host outside of the reality show. And then even when I think about people like Cardi B, she went on Love and Hip Hop, which is like one of the most ratchet reality shows, but she wanted to be a rapper, and she used her time on the show to get her stepping up, and now she's arguably one of the most successful female rappers in the world. I think if you have a plan and an idea and you are driven and focused, then you can use it as a legitimate strategy. The issue is when a lot of people get on these reality TV shows, they get caught up in all the produced fake drama, and so they get distracted, or they just get caught up in the fame and they can't handle it, and so they end up not doing much. So I think it depends on the person. If you have a solid plan and are driven, you can use it as a legitimate strategy.
I think something that you said there is so key, Anissa. Well, you weren't saying it, but you were alluding to it, and you talked about it with Cardi and this other woman on Housewife. It also depends on how long you stay on the show. Because if you see the majority of people who have used reality TV as a jumping off point, and again, I'd probably say in America, because over here, usually they have a time frame. So Love Island is like 8 weeks, and everyone really wants to stay on as long as possible, because if you go early, no one really remembers you. But let's say Kim Kardashian, for example, in my opinion, the reason why this is ending is because Kim's career is outgrowing what they want to do with it in keeping up with the Kardashians. Let's remember that this reality show was birthed off of her sex tape with Ray J. And if you look at the early episodes and the companies and the companies that they were building and the brands and the events that they were going to, even the way that they looked, it was much more at the lower end of the reality TV show market. But Kanye changed her career completely. No, seriously, like Kanye was taken seriously in the business world, in the music world, in the fashion industry, and when he got with Kim, he gave her a level of kudos that she never had, and it just revitalized her career. Now top brands wanting to work with her. She got onto the front of Vogue magazine, and now she's training to be a lawyer. She's gone to the president and argued for people to get out of prison. She is now doing Skims, which is taking off. Like, now she's at the point where I think the show would do much more damage to her brand, because it has to be scripted, because they want to see Kim crying and falling over the place and acting crazy. I think now it's like, actually, the places that I'm going, I can't support that image, and now I need to leave it. And I think it's the same with Cardi B and people like Mark Wright, who left Towie. He was just like, I could see the way I was being portrayed, and I had to leave it so that you had the career that you were trying to go for. If you're one of those people that stays on it to the end, to the end, to the end, it's just going to be ramped up and get worse and worse and worse, to the point where I think your opportunities are going to be left in the dust.
I agree, Sophie. It's about timing.
Also, hashtag Kanye. Let's just bring that back up, revitalize that.
She's now outgrown Kanye. She doesn't even need him anymore. Like,
Sophie, you kill me every time you say Kanye, honestly. I think you don't understand. Every time you say Kanye, it bloody kills me.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys think his name is Kanye. I forgot that.
We don't think. We know his name is Kanye. Like, we know.
No, but you are completely right. It is just down to the person who is trying to build their career and build that success. And I think Anissa's also right. You've got to go in with a plan. You've got to know what you want to get out of this, and you've got to think about it for the long haul. Building a business is not something you just dream up overnight and then it happens the next day. This is something you've got to commit to for years and years and years, and you've got to grind for it. And I think that's also something that we often don't really give credit to these people who come out of reality TV shows, that, you know, they keep their brand going for years after they've appeared on the actual show. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially with social media the way that it is now, and how easily you can you know, get cancelled or say the wrong thing or act in the wrong way. Keeping your personal brand the way it is and keeping it going over time it's hard. It's really hard. So do you know what? If you can get on a reality TV show and get back out of it with a brand and a successful career, then I take my hat off to you, because it's not easy.
Yeah, you like, it's not easy having people watch you and also criticize you. So you have to have like tough skin. And as you were speaking, it just reminded me of, I always feel like I say his name wrong. Do you know who I'm talking about? Ryland?
Yes, Ryland Clark.
Yes,
I loved him.
Like, to think he was on X Factor and nobody took him seriously on X Factor. It was just kind of like, who's this guy with blonde hair extensions and he can't really sing, but him and Nicole Scherzinger are really loving it up. Like, it was always like, who is this person? And now he's like a credible media personality and does lots of radio shows and TV presenting shows. And you just see that and think like, okay, you can actually get an actual career from this, but you really have to know exactly what you're doing or even have the right team, because I'm pretty sure Ryland didn't think I'm going to be a media personality, but he definitely had to have the right team to kind of steer him in that way. And that kind of makes me think, if there was a reality show that you had to go on, what reality show would you guys go on?
Such an interesting question, and I think I would probably use like Ryland as an example, because when we were talking about choosing the right ones, I think Ryland did like X Factor first of all, and then he went on to what was it? Was it Big Brother or I'm a Celebrity? Get me out of here.
I think it was Big Brother.
I think it was Big Brother. So Celebrity Big Brother. I think for me, maybe I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here. Because
doing all the Bushtucker trials.
Not because I'd want to do the trials, but it seems like a lot of people who win that actually kind of give a boost to their failing career because of the wide variety of people that they have on there. It seems like maybe the editing might, because they got politicians on there, they got footballers, they got singers, they got this, they got all of these different things. But the winners and the people who stay in are usually people who I think are usually generally more light. I think Love Island for me is just, I just couldn't do it. I think the way that they trying to get people drunk and it's all about basically who's going to get off with who, like you're setting yourself up to be in an unwinnable situation. So for me, I'm a Celebrity.
I am a massive, and I cannot make this point enough, a massive I'm a Celebrity fan. So
I never watch it. I never actually watch it, but
honestly, there wouldn't have to even be celebrities on there. Just me, Ant and Dec in a trial. I'd be happy. That'd be a dream come true. So I would love to do I'm a Celeb, but I don't know if because it's like very much like you have to be a celebrity to get on it. So you've kind of already made your brand, you've made your business. The other one that I would also do if I was a celebrity would be Strictly Come Dancing, just because I love it. I love the glam, I love the glitz, I love to dance. I can dance salsa, so I feel like I'd have like a good leg up. But I feel like if I was unknown and didn't have those platforms to like get onto a show like that, I mean, the choice is limited here, really, guys. It's Love Island, Big Brother, or I mean, that's it, really. Like, I could try and sneak my way onto Made in Chelsea. I could if I really wanted to. I feel like that would be the one that I would go for, just because I love Chelsea. You get to be surrounded by people that I will probably never meet in my life. So it'd just be like a nice, interesting experience. What's that book where they like basically bring her out from being like a pauper and like they make her posh? I can't remember what it's called. I'll link it down in the description below. You can check it out.
I was going to say Cinderella.
Nice.
Me too.
I was like, Cinderella?
I'll think about it and I'll link it down below. But it's a great book, but it just talks about like going from basically not having money to like being like really eloquent and well spoken and a lady. So I feel like that would be my story if I went on to Made in Chelsea.
I think I would definitely do Big Brother for the novelty, just because I grew up watching it as a child. So I'd at least want to be in the Big Brother house and have Davina call my name just to do it. If I wanted to have fun, then I would do like a one episode maybe of like Come Dine With Me, because I bloody love that show and love watching them as they're eating the food. Oh, I love Come Dine With Me. But in all honesty, if somebody told me they wanted me to go on Love Island, absolutely I would go. For many reasons. One, a free holiday, absolutely yes. I get to be in a bikini all day, every day. Oh my gosh, my absolute dream. I think I can't even begin to explain. And thirdly, I like meeting new people, so I wouldn't mind. The only issue is I'd have to have my own bed, so I didn't have to sleep with anybody, like in the same bed as me, and I'd have to have my own bathroom facilities. So I think it would be a lot for me to be on the show.
Well, I actually tried out to go on Super Scrimpers years ago, and I got on it, but I decided not to go on it in the end. So,
oh, why?
I guess for me, like the contract that they wanted me to sign in terms of editing, that thing was ironclad, rock solid, and scary as hell. And also something that I said when they came to kind of interview me and talk to me in my home. I must have made a comment like I really love fashion, and I was just like made this offhanded comment about, oh yeah, I'm like the Black Victoria Beckham. This was like years ago before she did like her upmarket like Mayfair store or whatever. And they started laughing and smiling and looked at each other and started furiously writing. And I was just like,
oh no,
that just seems like it's going to be taken really out of context. And it just made me very aware of the point of the producers is to kind of make their show entertaining, and the people are kind of second to that purpose. So yeah, you have to be really careful.